Salt Sanji here with another video. Got a brand new setup, so bear with me. What I like to talk about today is when you write a story, you overcome a lot of things. And one of those things that you overcome is the indoctrination that you receive from school. There's multiple ways you are indoctrinated when you're in school. I never liked writing in school. Never thought I would be writing a story. But the reason why I didn't really care for it is you're writing about a lot of stuff that you really don't know anything about. So what you do is you do research. So you're reading something that somebody else wrote, and then you are regurgitating it in your own story. And everybody grows up doing this. And so when they go to write a story, that's what they do. They regurgitate stuff from other stories. And that's the reason why there's very few original concepts now. There's always all these remakes of old things because nobody knows how to come up with anything original. And if you read a lot of the stories now, they're so predictable because you've already read these stories. It's just, parts of this and parts of that just mixed together. You always have, the main character goes to this academy to learn how to do stuff, kind of like Harry Potter. And then also, like in Harry Potter, they learn how to ride something to traverse, the universe or the world that they live in. In Harry Potter, it was a broom. But, in other stories, it's some type of creature, like a dragon, or they learn how to work some type of technology that allows them to traverse their world. And then you had this elimination tournament of some sort, like the Hunger Games. And a lot of people execute this very poorly because they introduce new characters just for the sake of killing them off, just to make it, dramatic, just to show you how, death-defying the world is, how dangerous it is. And then after that, you're going to have some type of love triangle, like Twilight. But like in Twilight, it was one girl and two guys. Well, they usually try to jazz that up a little bit and make one either bisexual or gay or trans or whatever. And that's okay if the character just happens to be that way. But just doing that just because you feel like you need to, you're just shoving it in there. It doesn't really feel natural. It's just poorly executed. And it's been done so many times. People think, you need to buy my book because it has a gay character in it. It has a midget of color that's also gay. And it's like, really? Do we need to go to these great lengths? And have a poor story that's executed poorly, and that's the only, gimmicky thing that you have for your story, and you expect me to buy this just because of, that merit alone? Like, no. But anyway, we deal with that indoctrination, and that's one thing you have to overcome. You have to learn how to write an original concept and not regurgitate things from other stories. Now, there's things that you can take away from stories. One of those things is writing mechanics, how the story unfolds, how this person, deals with conflict in their story, how do they, might work around it, how the story unfolds in front of you. These are things that you can, take from other stories, words that they use, how do they describe certain things, certain emotions. Another thing, too, that I like to tell people is when you want to write a story, if you want to write a story, can you make yourself cry? Can you invoke your own emotions? Because if you can't invoke your own emotions, how do you expect to use words to invoke other people's emotions? You can't do it. And a lot of people like to use a lot of flowery language, but that only goes so far. You need to learn how to, invoke your own emotions to learn how to draw out other people's emotions. I suggest if you're going to have a lot of characters in your story and you're humanoid, read a lot of psychology. Learn how people interact with one another and the reasons or motivations behind it. And you can write a way more compelling character by integrating these character traits, these flaws, these little quirks into your character and your story, and make it way more interesting to read. Another aspect of the indoctrination that we receive in school is we always are writing under a deadline. And a lot of people can't write unless they have a deadline because they're so programmed to write that way. And we rush things and we're trying to meet that quota. We're trying to meet that certain word count by, a certain date. And we don't focus on the quality of the work versus the quantity of it. Take your time with it. Try to explore things. If you sit down in front of a computer or in front of that notebook, whatever you write on, and you don't have nothing to write, you're screwing up. Go do something else. Stop wasting your time doing this. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten ideas to write about when I was, daydreaming at work or doing something else, and the thought just hit me, to do something with the character or a scene or something that I wanted to explore in my story. With all this downtime that I've had, not making YouTube, is I've been doing a lot of reading. For one thing, I've came up with several ideas for my next sequel to my story, and it's in the layout or the formatting stage right now. So it'll be done soon, and it'll be out. I'm still debating on whether or not I want to self-publish or try to find a agent and go the traditional route. But it's almost done. It's probably like 90% done. So the editing's done, and I'm doing the format right now. So it'll be out soon. And I can't tell you how long I've been working on this thing. It's been at least 2 years. But it's been 2 years, well spent. I can't tell you how many times I've came home from working, 10, 12 hours and still sit down at that computer with something to write about. And I just had to get it out of my head because I wouldn't have been able to sleep. Another thing too, a lot of people, they like to carry around a notepad and write stuff down, and when they get it, because they're scared that they're going to forget about it. Well, the thing is, usually if it's a really good idea, you're not going to forget about it, or it's going to come back to you. If you originally come up with it and it's a really good idea, it's going to come back to you. And usually if it's not so good, you're probably going to forget it. Just let it go. And I can't tell you how many times where I was trying to remember something that I came up with and not have that idea come back to me, but come up with, 2 or 3 other good ideas. So it works its way out. It just go along with the process, Just trust yourself. This quote that I read by Friedrich Nietzsche: the people who make the greatest authors are ones that are disgusted about being an author. If you're writing a book to become this new author, you're probably doing it for the wrong reasons. I never once wanted to be an author. If you went back in time and told me that I'd be writing a book, I would have told you were crazy. You have to write because you have something that you want to get out. You have something gnawing at you that you just You just got to get out of your head. And you just got to put it to paper. And then you go through these steps, and it's like, well, I came this far. I got to see this thing through now. I done invested all this time and money or whatever into it. I got to go. I got to see this out. I got to follow the process. I got to, see this through and trust in the process. But that's all I have to say. Thanks for listening. If you like what you hear, subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Sea Salt Sanji. Peace.